Okay, great. Okay, great. So we are live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Uzbek Diaspora's interview series. And today, our interviewer is Aziza Yusupova. A little bit about myself. My name is Shahla Zudalayeva, and today I'll be the one who's doing this interview with you guys, talking to you guys. And every year we decide to bring someone amazing, someone who is doing successful things. And today we are so excited to bring Aziza Yusupova and to really talk with her and ask her some questions about who she is. I have to tell you guys, she's amazing. She has an amazing background, and I really hope that our interview today will be helpful to some of you, and really you guys can learn something from that. To start off with a little bit about introducing, my name is Shahlo. I currently study in New York. I am part of Uzbek diaspora as well. And I'm just so excited for our interview today because our really mission to do those interviews is to really teach students and really tell them to while we're in Uzbekistan to really tell them that they can do anything they want, and bringing youth leaders like you, Aziza, is a great example to really tell them that they can do anything. So please, Aziza, introduce yourself. I am so happy to talk with you.
Um, Hello, everyone, and thanks to Shahla to introducing me. And I'm very grateful to that I'm invited for this live series.
Yes.
So about me, I am Aziza Yusupova. I was born 1994 in Khorizm region in Uzbekistan, and since my childhood, I was always keen on more into exact subjects, and my parents were very supportive in that. I studied in specialized schools for the mathematics, and I attended in my middle school time in the 9th grade, and I won the first place in mathematical Olympics in Khorizm region. It was really great, but on those years also I was really into attending for different types of other contests. For example, this is Think Search Found international intellectual TV program we attended with our group 3 times, and in the end we won the superior place in the country, and I was happily attending for the Bahrabait part of the competition for the poems, and it was a really great experience to do that things. And more about me, then I decided still to go to the mathematics because that was my main passion to do. And I applied to the National University of Uzbekistan in the mathematics department to be a mathematician, and I was always happy to teach mathematics or learn mathematics. And I guess if there is one thing which I make as a good decision, that was the best decision, that I applied to that department, and I learned like too many good things, very essential knowledge.
Yes.
Who I am right now today.
Yeah, that's so amazing. I actually didn't know about like a little bit about what you did in Uzbekistan. And from what I have seen, you have done a lot of amazing things, and as a girl and as a who's someone living in the suburban area of Uzbekistan, that's really amazing and outstanding for you to do that, because not many girls can really do that, and not many the parents in Uzbekistan are really supportive of that. So amazing, good job. It's really important that you really went to, you really followed your passions. You really did what you want to do. So, could you talk about us a little bit about where you are today, what you're doing right now?
So right now I am in Switzerland, Basel, in the Biocentrum University of Basel. I am a mathematical and computational neuroscience PhD researcher, and working on modeling and analyzing the brain data and trying to make biologically plausible models for the brain activity.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's like really is so you went from math to neuroscience. Is there any difference between that or is it like same path or did you choose decide to change your career?
Well, yes and no,
Mhm,
because yes, part is that still I'm in the mathematics, and I consider myself as still mathematician.
mhm,
And from American point of view, it's more like an applied mathematics. From European point of view, it's more like statistical physics or more in
mhm.
the physics department.
Yeah.
So I was doing mathematics, pure mathematics in Uzbekistan, and then I changed in my master's degree to applied mathematics. I was working with coupled oscillators model, which has applications to epileptic seizures for the brain activity, unihemispheric sleep of birds and dolphins, or
Mhm,
social systems, power grids, and so on.
mhm.
And then I did one more year postgraduate diploma degree in Italy. Uh,
Mm,
is also special training funded by UNESCO. So I
mhm.
was one of the 6 students chosen from all over the world to do this specific degree. And
Yeah.
I trained for quantitative life sciences.
Mhm.
And then I chose the subject for computational neuroscience, which is physics or mathematics models which
Mhm.
explains brain activity,
Mm.
helps us to understand how neurons talk to each other in a
Yes.
cognitive way.
Yes. You have
Yeah.
such an amazing story, to be honest. Like, I am more amazed of like talking to you, and I'm like, wow, I could have done something better with my life. but, but I'm just stuck in like doing marketing or finance, but you're doing so much more interesting things. It's just so amazing, like your journey of, and also like you really doing something that you love, that's really amazing. And you have a long journey. And so, as a woman, were you always supported to do really what you want to do? How do you feel
That's
like
a
growing
good
up?
question. That's a
Huh?
good question to start with. That's a good question. I mean, well, again, for this one also, yes and no, because the support can be in a very different level in the spectrum.
Yes. Mhm.
For example, I guess in Uzbekistan, mostly girls are supported to do bachelor degree so that
Yes.
the parents prepare all the educational fee and then
Yes.
food and everything so that
Yes.
prepare and enter to university.
Mhm.
But when it comes to masters, it gets already a little bit tricky, like what do you want and so on. My
Yeah.
parents wanted me to do masters,
Mhm.
and they were supportive, but not in abroad.
Yes.
So there is very interesting thing, but
Yeah.
it's really truth.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because
uh,
you're not just doing it, sorry to disturb you, you're not just doing it in Uzbekistan, you were doing it in a different country, and you have like went all those countries. I mean, that is pretty exciting, but not really exciting for Uzbek parents.
yeah, it is not. So when I was until my finishing my high school, I was in Horizm in my hometown preparing, and I wanted to study my bachelor degree in Tashkent. So
Mhm,
my parents were supportive, and they waited until the exam answers to come out,
mhm,
date of mandate. And then, as soon as they know that I entered to the university, they immediately bought a house in Tashkent and they moved. Everyone changed their job and fully moved to Tashkent to live
mhm.
together with me.
Yeah,
So you could see like they were really supportive and they just
yeah,
say like, we don't want you to stay in the hostel or to like, we want to be together as a family. And
yes,
I guess this is really amazing what they did. But then when I said like I want to study masters abroad, they were like, "We came to you to Tashkent. Like
yeah,
now you want us to move abroad."
yes,
So it was very difficult for them. And I'm one girl in my family. I have a
yeah,
brother, but as a girl, I'm one, and
yeah,
I'm a little bit pampered in the sense. So it was very difficult for them to let me go to abroad. But I could convince somehow that I purpose of studying abroad is not like traveling or just doing
Mhm.
fun. It's like I have a purpose to do it.
Yes.
So I guess
Yes.
I could like present my ideas to my father and told him like, look, I want to do this.
Yes.
And if no one have seen, you have seen me like all the nights I'm preparing for IELTS and
Yes.
struggling, meanwhile handling the heaviness of my bachelor degree, like the
Yes.
everything, because
Yes.
it to be honest, like I have studied in different places, but still
Mhm.
studying in the mathematics department in National University of Uzbekistan is like a heavy thing. I
Yes.
have gone through this, so I know. So it was somehow tough. So I could still do it, and I'm so happy that my father let me and he supported me. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, just
Yeah, it's a tough process. I have to tell you, I'm also the first, only girl in the family. I have only one brother, and I could tell you how much parents do not want to let their kids go, especially who are also in Uzbekistan. They really want to keep, especially the daughters together. The boys can go, but the daughters have to stay home, So I totally understand you. And to the girls who are willing to study abroad right now, who is watching us, or if they are in Uzbekistan, really show them what you are doing, really show them your hard work. And I'm pretty sure that they're really going to trust you, believe you, and that they're going to let you go. Because at some point, as an adult, they have to learn to let us go, because
yeah,
we all have our own ways, we all have our own stories to tell. So,
yeah.
would you tell me a little bit more about, like, how did you choose where you want to go? Which country you want to go, or which university that you want to go, your first choice of university?
Yeah, I guess when I was in Uzbekistan, it was already the best choice, like to go to the National University of Uzbekistan to the mathematics department. After that, I went to Korea, South Korea, in the city Daegu to the Kyungpook National University. Choice was a little bit random, I must say, because I searched Korean universities from internet, and then I saw that which has the more application deadline still left, and I could apply, and I have a chance to get accepted. And I didn't know that time I could apply for two universities at once, because in Uzbekistan that time it wasn't possible to apply to two university in the parallel. So I applied only one university, and it's so good that I got accepted. And they didn't have an interview, and it was very good university. And I
Mhm.
was the only foreigner student in my whole department, in the mathematics department. All were
Oh,
Koreans.
mhm,
All were Koreans, so I was the only one.
mhm,
And so Korea, I guess it's not secret that South Korea is one of the famous place for Uzbek students to go. Uh,
mhm.
so that was one of the reason. In general, I didn't have any relative or friends or anyone. I just randomly
Yes.
found and randomly applied.
Mhm.
Uh, but I had the intention that I could get the very valuable or essential knowledge from
Mhm.
there, and
Yes.
I don't regret it. It was very good experience. I learned, for example, programming there. Uh,
Mhm.
for the scientific programming, I could publish and I could get very good results.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, and I saw the both side of like Europe and Korea, and I cannot compare them because they are different, but at the same time,
Yes.
doing master's degree in Korea gives a lot of advantages, because you can do more research. You
Mhm.
take like 24 credit in my university, and all the other time I was already a researcher, and I was getting paid for it, which
Mm.
is a great thing to do. And I could publish papers, I could get good results, and with those scientific results, I could, for example, go to Japan. That time it was fully funded. I could attend for international conferences in Jeju, and also I went to summer school. So all the things were covered by Korean government. Uh,
Mhm.
Also, I had this Brain Korea scholarship in Korea when I was doing
Yeah.
So I guess I won't regret that I went to South Korea.
Yes.
Yeah. Then when I went to, after that, I went to Uzbekistan for 1 year. And I worked in the Turin Polytechnic University as a teaching assistant for mathematical analysis. It was a good experience also because I like to teach. At that time, I already understood that I want to do research, and I was enjoying doing research more. So I could convince my parents somehow to go
To go again.
go again. Go again.
You have such a diverse background, I have to say. Like, have
Fantastic.
you, yeah, were you ever afraid to study abroad? Like you said, like you're talking about Korea, and in Korea you have to speak Korean. Did you know how to speak Korean? Were you ever afraid that you are gonna be lost, or you're not gonna be able to speak, or you're not gonna be able to finance yourself? Were you ever?
Finance, my father could pay.
Yes.
That was the expectation. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean it's easy for him, but that was the expectation, that he said that he will pay for it.
Yes.
And also, of course, I was afraid because I don't speak the language, and my English was 5.5. People, it wasn't 7 or something. It was 5.5. My
Yeah.
English wasn't that great, but I had goals in life.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure what type of difficulties might come out. Of course, there is uncertainty in
Mm-hmm.
every area, and uh, our brains are in general very sensitive for uncertainty. As a
Mm-hmm.
mathematician, I must say that mine is double sensitive and risk averse. But while doing risk, I guess we still have to take risk. Otherwise, we stay in the same position.
Yeah.
And only that time I realized, one day my friend said, Uzbek girl in Korea, she was like, "You take a lot of risks, don't you?" I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"I don't take risks." She said, "You came to here, you knew no one." I
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, maybe then that's right." So I guess it's very shows clearly that one should take risk,
Mm-hmm.
and also confidence is important.
Yes.
Uh, Recently, I have seen the good definition of confidence is
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you are sure that nothing can go wrong. Uh, Confidence is a thing that if something goes wrong, you will be able to handle it.
Yes.
So I guess this is a perfect explanation for a confidence. So one should be confident enough, things might come out because we do not always consider the things in the information theory. They call it unknown unknowns. You don't know even they exist, these problems. It
Yeah.
was challenging, but I was sure I want to do it because I have a bigger goal to do. So I go towards it. Otherwise, if one becomes very risk averse, they just stay in their comfort zone.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing. I mean, to be honest, that's a really great lesson, and that was an amazing quote. The way that you talked a little bit about goals, can you really tell us a little bit about how you set your own goals? I really loved how you said that you always set up goals. Could you tell a little bit to students who are currently in Uzbekistan how you set up goals and how your goals actually brought to where you are today?
yeah. Well, goals, for example, my goals might change by time because we grown up and it's very normal to change. But the still main values will stay even years pass.
Yeah.
So um, I guess in general, I'm a person who wants to take responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
There are many things which you can do and you might be good at, but you want to take bigger the responsibility. I consider myself that person.
Yes.
And while defining the goals, I want to do something which is useful for a human being.
Mm-hmm.
How can I contribute to the society in a better way? and at the same time I can enjoy, and also I can handle my life better, so that I can contribute in the next level better, so that
Yeah.
I increase my productivity with that,
Mm-hmm.
or my influence with that.
Mm-hmm.
So it will get geometric, not not arithmetic.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. And that's really important to students who are in Uzbekistan or planning to travel, because you need to really be sure about what you want to do and set your goals. And I feel like it really does work. Once you have a really set goals, once you start working on it, it really becomes true. So it's really amazing. I also wanted to ask where you are really. So you talked a little bit about Korea, right? The time that you
Yeah.
studied in Korea, and could you talk a little bit about where you're studying right now, and how did you choose to study where you are right now?
Yeah, sure. So this will start a little bit earlier because before coming here, I was in Italy
Mm-hmm.
doing my postgraduate diploma degree for quantitative life
Oh wow!
sciences.
So you've been to Italy too. So you did first the Korea and then Italy. So you can talk about Italy first, and then we can go to Switzerland.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
doing a whole world map.
I
First we
travel
went
for
to Korea.
science. I travel for science.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's like we're doing a whole journey around the globe.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so if I talk about Italy, I was in Trieste in the Abdus Salam Center for Theoretical Science. It's called ICTP. So um, scientists all around the world who do theoretical physics go there, but they have also mathematics part. And before applying, I had the intention, like, um, should I apply to the mathematics or to a physics? But happily, in that year, they opened the degree for quantitative life sciences for the first batch, and expected students should
Yes.
be mainly from physics. And which I mentioned, I'm not a physicist, and I have
Mm,
taken a couple of classes in South Korea, quantum physics and so on.
yeah.
But in general, I'm not a physicist.
Mhm.
I don't want to take credit or responsibility to be a physicist. Then it was very
Yeah.
interesting to get selected, first of all. Of course, my highlighted thing was that my research, and which I did in my master's degree, uh, it was on this coupled oscillators model, and they asked, like, why exactly you have done this and what are your priorities to do. So I already mentioned that I want to move towards to the more um, applied mathematics, or applications of the mathematical models, and they were very supportive in that sense, and they said that I could be a good fit for it, and of course interview, and they asked questions. uh, but I knew that it's going to be challenging because still it's physics. And uh, but the good thing about doing this degree gave me, like, things can be challenging, but you were able to do it. Yeah, and I could learn also, like, I used to think like I might like some of the subjects which I want to do a career, like ecology and evolution, quantitative ecology and evolution. After taking the course, I realized, like, maybe I don't want to do it. It's good that taking the course, but I don't want to do it. Or the biophysics, which is a great
Yeah.
subject. So it was really good, and also I could learn all these dynamics models with the probabilistic approach, and it was a great environment with all the foreign students, and we could learn and look at to the science, how could we model things and how could we
Mhm.
apply our knowledge. And professors were really supportive there for apply, and once I could perform good in one of the subject, information theory, our professor said that he gonna give a recommendation letter, and he suggested positions to apply for PhD.
Oh wow,
And
that's amazing.
yeah, the why I'm highlighting this, because I thought that this could never happen. He is a great professor. I mean, the head of the department and so on, and I wasn't sure that I could apply for those positions.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we grown up in such a way that, in general, like we have less confidence. We think like we might not be good enough for some positions, even to apply, not even just get accepted or leave. So he is one of the best admiring person in my life. Matteo Marsili gave me this like pep talk, or the confidence, said that you have a very good background and you are very eligible. You should apply for this position.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just applied, and he gave me the recommendation letter. I cannot read it, so he gave it to them. And I have been invited for all the places which I have applied
Oh
to go
wow.
present my work. I
Mm-hmm.
was like shocked, like how?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because first one was in the Max Planck Center. Uh, Max Planck Center is like a dream place one could be. It's very great research center, and they do great, amazing modeling and mathematical work in general. So I was invited for 3 days to Leipzig
Mm-hmm.
and to present my things. But interestingly, the presentation was not on PPT, not in presentation, but it was on the blackboard. So half an hour, only half an hour they give, and I had to present my work, which is computational work, but I had to show it in an analytical way, and it was really challenging. I was really afraid because the professors and 30 people were in the Max Planck committee. The
Mm-hmm.
situation was really intimidating. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a true fact that like our country is not that famous in the international community for science yet. So it also like made me feel like maybe I'm not good enough. But
Yeah.
finally, I could get the position, and I guess it was good support that from my professor, who challenged me to go forward to these things,
Mm-hmm.
and to try it out. Before, this is also one of the quote, like if you apply, there is a chance like you might get yes or no, but if you don't try, it's
Yes.
100%. It is 100%
Yes.
no. And I recommend to like people who apply in general. Of course, they have to think about possibility they might get accepted or no. But if the
Mm-hmm.
application is free and if your all documents are ready, just why not to send one?
Yes. Yes, you just gave us a little, really, like, really important message right now, saying that really apply, really don't wait, really don't wait for any opportunities. And also the fact that you just came to Italy just to study and you get all those amazing opportunities, on your way, which is really amazing. It's really like, it's not something like a lot of people can get. And the fact that you got it, it's just amazing. A little bit about applying and that you got on, I kind of realize now that what's so important to students is like really applying. Could you talk us a little bit about your application process on how you apply to, let's say, South Korea or Italy, because you applied from Uzbekistan, right? So could you
Yeah.
talk us a little bit about like how you applied to those universities? How did you chose it? What are some of the factors that were really important to you that you were looking out for, and some of your stats, please?
Yeah. So while applying to South Korea, as I mentioned before, so I just searched on the internet, and I didn't go via any agencies because I want to do science, and mainly they connect to the departments or universities which they know. So I did it all by myself, and it's very important that one could try to connect to the professor beforehand. That is what my brother do, and in my next steps, I also did. In the beginning, I didn't know what should I do, so I directly applied to the university itself. And of course, one should highlight the motivation in the motivation letter why they are going to choose and what they're going to do next. So it was just normal application. You fill the online application and then you pay the fee. You send your documents and they will let you know, and then you get your visa. And just it's very normal, like many other people done. In Italy, it was specific research center, so I applied online there also. They have online application, and then they had an interview exam it is, because they ask questions you have to solve and you have to draw graphs and so on. They ask examples. After that, they really support the visa process. Usually, I guess it's quite tough to get a visa to Italy, but with this research center, it's very smooth and it gets very fast. They have a visa support. So that was the thing. But when I was in Uzbekistan, I applied, of course, for PhD positions in Europe. And interestingly, I didn't even pass from CV screening to any of the PhD process. And now I know why. In the beginning, I didn't know. Now I know why. I guess it's very important that one should have like very good recommendation letter to pass from CV screening. Also, like knowing the H index of the professor. And also they should have a good collaboration with those places which you are applying. Not necessarily, but it's better, so that they are already accepted, those professor, as their known person. So it was very hard in the sense that to entering to Europe. Yeah, so this ICTP helped me and I could go there. But while I'm in ICTP already, because the program is 1 year, after 6 months you start applying again. And the results were like completely different.
Yes.
Exactly the same professors which I applied for the exact same motivation letter, I got the position. I got the interview, I got the visiting interview, and I got the positions. I must say that, yeah, the results are like really different, but in 6 months, I wouldn't say like I changed so much. So here it comes to the thing that the passing CV screening is very essential, but it will help only to bring you until the next step, which is interview. After interview, when you go to interview, already other things doesn't matter. Now you have to show yourself. So this, in some sense, the recommendation letters helped me to pass from. But when I had the interview, I guess I presented well and I answered all the questions. It wasn't as scary as I thought. And sequence, as soon as I applied, sequences of the all the interviews were coming out. I was like, I felt like it's like a dream, because I never thought like I might be not good enough, because previous year results were vice versa. So that I flew to Leipzig. Days I was there to presenting and getting to know the institute, and then from Leipzig I flew to Geneva. So I also had got the position in University of Geneva to work on power grids in the electrical engineering department with the Swiss National Foundation scholarship. Yeah, and also
that's so amazing.
Yeah, and then I had also other interviews, but because of the COVID, it canceled and we had to do it online. Another one was in Paris, to École Normale in Paris, and another one was in Basel. Yeah, another one was in Basel.
Oh wow,
Again,
that's amazing. I'm sorry. I feel like we are having like a connection problem.
yeah,
Sorry. So sorry. Did you felt that? I feel like we had a connection problem, right?
yeah, we have.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyways, thank you so much. I feel like, yeah, because you were just talking and I felt like I wasn't there. But thank you so much. I feel like you kept talking even though I wasn't asking a question. I just wanted to say like quickly that people, if you guys have questions who are watching us, please start asking her questions. She came ready to answer all of your questions, so start asking questions if you have any questions. I know that we got some questions on the chat. We will definitely start answering them once we are done with the questions. Now that she talked all about her wonderful trips that she had, could you talk us a little bit about your career journey, some of the works that you have done? How did you get those opportunities? You can talk about a little bit about your work in Uzbekistan or in South Korea or Italy or where you are right now. And if you ever see like a connection problem, you can just keep talking, and then after I see it, I can ask the other questions. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. So for the opportunities, I guess it's important to approach to while, for example, I wasn't assigned to any specific laboratory or office when I was in South Korea, but I approached to the professor and said like, I like this subject. I want to work on it. It was nonlinear dynamics and chaos. I approached, and it was the best decision, one of the best decision I have made, I guess, because it's such an interesting subject, and I like the topic on synchronization, how fireflies synchronize, even though they don't talk to each other, but after some time when they start flashing, some of them gets faster, some of them get slower, and then after some time they start synchronizing. Or like we see in the stadiums, people sit and when something happens they clap. After some time it's like synchrony clapping. So it was really amazing how to this biological systems do it and what are the reasons, and there are too many applications, so I was very interested to work on this type of models. I worked with the chimera state, which is a combination of synchrony and asynchrony in one system. And also I was then getting the opportunities. I was in while going to Italy again, like I knew this place from some of the other people whom I know from National University of Uzbekistan. They did also their postgraduate diploma there, and now they have. So I just wanted to. I knew this opportunity from them, but then when I was in Italy to getting this opportunity, I guess it's very important. Like nowadays, there are already too many applications on the internet. One could just search and they can apply. So this is the openness about and very good technological help in general to people. So also I had this, I didn't have, my professor gave me, but now I am assigned, for example, computational neuro mailing list. So they post the jobs there, and Twitter has a lot of job posts. One can always get the opportunity, and always it's always important that you should, one should email to the professors about the research, what they are doing, and you want to continue with that research. This is the only way. Some of the time, some people ask from me, like, what did you do? I'm like, there is no special secret, and there is no special secret recipe. You just have to go online and apply, and consistency is very important, determination and consistency. So you just go for it. Maybe many professors, they didn't even respond to me because, and some of them responded, they don't have an open position, which is no one's fault. So it's always important, like sending emails and reminding them in 15 days and telling them that why you fit for this job. these things are very important to get the opportunities, and also while telling them that one should highlight that why you can be best fit for this job, and from your background, how can you cover this project, because in Europe, most of the time, PhD applications are for specific project, and you're gonna get hired for that specific project. My project in Basel, for example, I was involved to this project with the Novartis pharmaceutical company, which you may know, Shahla, one of the biggest pharmaceuticals in the world. I was there with the research and development side. My research topic was head direction cells in the brain for the navigation. How this post specific part of the brain and how neurons react for the specific direction, and I was responsible for modeling this types of these types of processes in the brain. You are muted, Shahla.
Oh, sorry. I was saying, I'm like, wow, I'm just looking at you and I'm just thinking how useless my life is. You're doing so many exciting things. And some of the things you're talking about, I'm like, wow, there are people who do that. Wow, like my life is a waste. Seriously, no, like this is amazing. I'm like, I mean, how do you even have the brain to do this? Like, because like if you ever ask me any questions about biology, I mean, I suck at it. I am anything that has with the math, anything, I'm just the worst at it. But to see like how far you have come as a girl from Uzbekistan and that we are from same place, good job, amazing job. Like you are doing amazing. And some of your things that you said about like being consistent, really like working really hard when you're looking for a job, for an opportunity. People really need to take note of that because that is very important. Sometimes people are like, it's okay, I'm gonna give up, it's fine. But you just really stayed consistent and it really shows, like once you were in South Korea, you could just have said, okay, it's enough, it's fine, I can do whatever my parents want. But you went to then Italy, now you're in Swiss, you're really like challenging yourself up to different things, and that's just really amazing. It's like really like empowering, so do you ever have thought of just going back to Uzbekistan and teaching other girls about those opportunities? Have you ever thought of that? Or have you done that before?
That's a good that's a good question. Well, I always felt like maybe in general I am a recovering perfectionist. I always think like I have to do more before doing or telling or bragging to someone about this. And then I saw a quote tells that don't be so humble, you are not even that great.
Oh wow.
I'm like, okay. Maybe it's a good time to start then. So I was like, yeah, makes sense. And I realized like I know I'm not in the peak of my career. I have to do a lot of things. I know that I have to learn too many things, but at the same time, I could share my experience with others. And I want to be the person which my younger self needed. When I needed this advice, there was no one. I wasn't just connected, and it wasn't easy to break these stereotypes. And until come to here, there was no like my bigger sisters or some of my relatives to come and talk to my parents and tell like, hey, let her go. So I had to do all these things in a nice way and to handle all the things. So now I want to do this. Not only to girls, but I'm planning to give some little presentations about data science in life sciences.
Yes.
Soon I'm going to Uzbekistan, so in the president schools and maybe in Al-Khwarizmi school, and also medical department in Urgench, medical
Yes.
the department in Urgench. I'm going to give some presentations about what are the career possibilities if one go to the computational biology, bioinformatics, and data science for life sciences in general, and how essential it is going to be combination of biotech and infotech.
Yes. And you are actually already doing that. Just by giving this interview, you are actually telling so much. You're helping us a lot, telling about where you come from, what some of the things that you have been doing, and really telling them how to choose the right university or how to look for opportunities. You're already giving back to your community. And I think that's just amazing. And you talked a little bit about breaking stereotypes. Could you tell us a little bit more about that? Do you think that it's just a normal to any Uzbek girl to do all those things?
Well, I guess the first thing starts. Let me just go with what I go through. In general, in the world, girl doing mathematics is kind of cliche, maybe. Like
Yes.
people will be like, girl and mathematics, it's not that accepted. And boys get sad when they lost in the Olympiads. Like, why
Yes.
girl get the first place? Like I couldn't. And it's maybe the gender imbalance and so on. But I
Yes.
must say, like, my father is always very supportive and he's proud of what I do. And also then I did mathematics already. First stereotype I'm breaking doing this, and then going abroad, I was like, I am doing this for the right reason. I'm not doing this for traveling. I just get out of my country or so on. I want to research and I want to learn things. I know it's going to be challenging because I don't know Korean. My English is just 5.5. And I will be far from my parents, which I was always living together with them.
Mm-hmm.
I have never lived even 1 week far from my parents. Never. So it is going to be challenging for sure.
Yeah.
And but I was ready to take these risks
Yes.
because I had this temptation my inside, like I want to do science and let me see it. Başka düşkende koz korar.
Yeah.
So
There's like
this
fire in you.
yeah. So I had a fire in me, like, no, I'm gonna deal with it. And then my parents, of course, they were against in the beginning, but then I could convince them, which is a good thing. And also, when I was in Korea, I always wanted to do martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
So Korea was a good place to start with it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, then I started going to taekwondo classes with
Mm-hmm.
and so one by the other, I got all the colorful belts. And in the end, there was a very essential exam, which is from the Korean government, Kukwon, and it's with all the things. And it's like an IELTS. You register and you pay for it, and the result will come out. You pass or fail. So in the end, I got first dan black belt in taekwondo.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So you're not just good at what you study, you're good at everything.
That's
You're just
right.
like really well, no, that is really good for trying. So how do you do that? Like, so you are just like staying consistent, you're really doing your best. And do you think, is there any life lesson that you could give us on always staying on top, you would say?
I guess I could share one of my some of my strategies to do it. You could just think about in future self.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, I don't want to deal with the consequences of my decision, so that I try to think ahead. If I do this now, what might be the consequences? So you go step ahead, and if I don't do this, then it will be this. If I do this, it will be this. And again, like it's not that easy if you are not like exceptional rich or like very very exceptional someone to directly come from Uzbekistan to Switzerland.
Yeah.
First of all, lifestyle and all the things. it's very expensive, and everyone from the world, Western Europe, from UK or Eastern Europe, like everywhere, they come to Switzerland and apply. And Switzerland is already a small place, so
Yeah.
it's quite hard to be very exceptional in those exceptional applicants. People come from Harvard or Cambridge, and then it's me, like from village from Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
So it's very different, and we are from middle class family, so it's not that exceptional. So those things, like you can think about, like, am I comfortable right now? If you think you deserve for better, and you have the belief system like I could make my life better, then you can start taking action. If
Yes.
So that was my motive, I guess. So I could think ahead, and I was like, I have to do this. I must say,
Yes.
like, of course, my other things in my CV are good, but having this uh, first done black belt in Taekwondo, also one of the
Yeah.
highlights, which was different than the other applicants.
Yeah.
Because in the interview they asked about it, why I did a taekwondo and how could I do it. So this is one of the thing eye catching in the CV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess it was like I already knew somehow that it is important to do this, and once you get the certificate and you have the skills, first of all, already I was into it, but also
Yeah.
it was with situation because it represents who I am.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. Really staying true to yourself and really follow you what you want to do, because interviews really want to get to know you. And no matter if it's something that has nothing to do with what you're currently studying, which is like taekwondo, right? It really has nothing to do with what you study. And that really shows that you always trying to be better person and you're always improving in yourself, and when you said a little bit about how talking about and that isn't a normal and you coming from just in simple Uzbekistan and others coming from United States and different places, that really also shows something, you're always challenging yourself, and that is very important for others to hear, that always be challenge yourself, because if you stay in same place, that really won't change anything. So yeah, let's go ahead with questions, and I saw this really good question over here that says, what about your future plans for the next 5 to 10 years? Are your future careers plans related with Uzbekistan? Maybe we can talk about the first question, which was really great, which he said, and most of the interviews also ask, what are your future plans up to next 5 to 10 years? So you can talk a little bit about that.
Well, right now I'm doing my PhD, so it might take some time to finish.
Hmm.
Uh, in general, future plans, I guess, in everyone, it should depends on what are their priorities in life. So for me, like, I
Yes.
want to really contribute to the research area, which I'm doing right
Hmm.
now. And again, people can choose the location or like the for me, the impact I want to contribute to the human being,
Hmm.
regardless of their race and gender. And I consider myself humanist.
Hmm.
So I want to help to this break down this the mystery in the brain. So how to understand it, because nowadays
Hmm.
you see like a lot of people suffer from mental diseases, depression. There are more
Yes.
people like dying from rather than war with the suicide or something. So it's very important to
Yeah.
understand the brain. And again, like, I'm not a doctor or I'm not neurobiologist itself, I don't work in the lab, but I want to help to those group of scientists, being with
Hmm.
them and trying to break down and understand in a quantitative way this type of knowledge. So I guess as long as this is my priority, I don't choose the location.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it depends on where I am right now. Maybe I will stay in Switzerland. Maybe I go to UK or to California or some other places. The most important thing is that you have the best team and you are sure that you are showing best version of yourself,
Yes.
contributing with your best self, meanwhile happy with your life, who you are out of
Mm-hmm.
the work,
Yeah.
because work-life balance is very important. I guess in Switzerland one can find this best balance because after work you can choose what to do.
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, you have
Like
time for language.
Switzerland
And
is a beautiful country. I have to say, it's my dream to visit there. Like, I know how beautiful Switzerland is. I don't know if I can ever go there, but I want to go. And I guess what you're saying is that the place really doesn't matter. As
yeah,
long as you know your mission is, your mission,
yeah,
you stick to your values, and the place and where you live really doesn't matter, because I feel like what you really want to do is more important than anything else. The fact
yeah,
that you want to understand the brain to help people with depression is bigger than anything else in the world. I'm going to tell you. You can help talk with people who are depressed. You can help them talk with people and really have those conversations, but really understanding the brain is so much bigger. And the value that it's going to give to you is so much bigger. And I think that's Shirin Rozumatova. She asked, "Who is your biggest role model and why?" Do you
well,
have an
I
answer
guess,
for that?
yeah, yeah, I guess there are like, it can be very different according to the subject. For example, for
Yes.
science, for life. And I must say, like, because maybe I'm perfectionist, I don't have like one specific model, but there are many
Mhm.
people whom I get inspired, and uh, I inspire them, or so it's like the
Mhm.
energy exchange. But if there is one person, I must say that that's my father.
Mm. Mhm.
Like, there's no doubt for that. Whenever I'm in my difficult moment, I always think, what could my father do if he was instead of me?
Yeah.
So it's the best way to solve the situation. And he helped always, like, I guess this is the very important in general, being as a friend or parent or anything. uh, People should listen rather than dictate the situation. This is what my father do. He listens.
Mhm.
Whenever I say something, he'll be like, why do you think that? He never says like, don't say that, or like, that's a crazy thing. He never do that. And where I
Mhm.
am right now, he has the best contribution, I must say. So he always listens. Like, I want to do this, he'll be like, why do you think? Then I will show my motivation and things, and then he says yes or no accordingly. And then he explains why he says no. And then it's
Yeah.
very healthy communication, I must say. um,
Mhm.
and there are other
Mhm.
professors, of course, I get motivated. And there are my mathematics teacher in Horizon, um, always like
Mhm.
push or motivated me through. And they are like really mentors in life in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mentors are the great word
Yeah.
to yeah.
Right now, for example, I go to Chinese kickboxing and street fighting classes.
Mhm.
uh, it's a little bit far where I stay right now. It was very close to my previous place, but still I go to that specific place
Mhm.
because that trainer is like a real mentor. They don't care
Mhm.
about like, when the time finished, and they just care about the result and what type of motivation they give it to you, and you feel
Mhm.
like they care about you, not about like the time finished and you just go. my mathematics teacher, Delfuza Opa, she
Mhm.
was like, I used to go to her house to like always. I was constantly in the private tutors, by the way. My parents,
Mm.
yeah, always, constantly. So I used to be in her house, and they never checked the time, like when did she came and will she go, constantly. So this is
Wow.
like when you feel cared, you get this like role models, and you have the motivation to be like them. Or my taekwondo master, he taught us for free, and I guess also I could learn how to be patient, or like how to keep your temper. And
Yes.
it's just, if I think like it already happiness starts in my face, like how nice and kind people can be. And
Yeah.
yeah, this is
That's
a good,
amazing, you know.
yeah.
That's really amazing. I'm sure that your father would be proud of you, and I'm sure he really is proud of you, you know. And all the things that you have accomplished so far is just amazing. Like I am even too stunned to speak. Like I am just too stunned to speak and on how much you have accomplished. And I feel like I'm the one who's not doing anything with her life, and you're the one who's doing amazing things in your life, you know. So
Um,
that's amazing. Another question that we got, what was the best part of being student? Going back to your student years, what do you think was the best part? I feel like for me, the best part was I don't know, meeting new people, making new friends, I guess. I made a lot of great friends. What about for you?
yeah, I guess I have different student life. For example, when I was in Uzbekistan, my student life was lectures, 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 library, 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 and then English studying early morning at 7 a.m. I used to leave the house because my university was far, and I arrived to home at 10 p.m. at night with my
Yeah.
brother. We used to go to English preparation, so it was like hectic lifestyle. I didn't have time to go to sports or to learn to play music or so on. Uh, but it was nice in the sense like you had these friends who struggle together with you. Uh, but it was a lot different for my friends who live in the student house, for example, that time, because that was the real student life for them. I used to live with my parents. But when I went
Yeah.
abroad, it changed. The good part was like
Mhm.
you have weekends and you can go to travels, and
Yes.
um, so you can make friends. This is a good thing, I guess. Once you start working in the work, it's very different. Only when I started working, I understand that it is different, because
Yeah.
whom you are with, they don't share the same lifestyle which you have. Many of them married, or they have another thing to finish, and after work they
Yes.
go to home, and they do dinner at home, or they have like different lifestyle. In
Yeah.
students, more or less, you have to go with the flow. Everyone is in the same flow. So
Yeah.
I guess in student life, so these are the things like you sit together and complain together. That is the best thing.
Yes, and cry together. I
Yeah, yeah.
remember, oh my God, how much I used to cry to my friends about this, like, and we and the our kind of chat for today, or the webinar for today.
Yeah.
I would like to ask, what is one piece of advice that you would give to anyone, to a student, to someone who's working or looking for an opportunity, any kind of really one piece of advice that you
Yeah.
have
So
for
there is
them?
one quote I always follow, which combines
Mhm,
mainly things which I do. So it is,
mhm.
to win the game, just remain in the game.
Yes.
yeah, so you have to be consistent, and in order to win. Or also we can think about in a game theory way, life is a repetitive game. In order to be winner, you have to win every day. If you win today, you should win tomorrow too. So it's not like you are settled winner for forever. You have to defend it tomorrow again. But if you lost today, it's also a good, because tomorrow you have a chance to win again.
Yes.
So somehow motivating in this sense. For the winners, it's somehow pessimistic because you have to win tomorrow. There is a risk you might not win. But for the losers, it's motivating in the sense that you can win.
Yes.
There is a chance.
Wow, that was just...
Yeah, and also for the students or for people in general, I would suggest that many people can get very competitive. Life, we get forward only with cooperation. This is the best thing.
Yes.
Competition will not work. Cooperation and the intentions to go forward, this is a best thing one could do. And I guess this is very important, teamwork in general, like to rather than compete and want to wish someone is losing and you are winning. This is not the good motivation in general. People should change their mindset in the sense like we are in the same team, because at least for me, I feel like I want to help or contribute to the humans, but my main purpose is not like to become the greatest scientist and to get the what can I say, credit for it. I mean, I'll be happy if I do great discovery and get Nobel Prize, but this is not the main motivation why I do science.
Yes.
Yeah, so I wouldn't compete, or like I wouldn't seek validation for those things. So I guess I could wish people try to see positive side, and they could have bigger, like the dopamine release in their brain, rather than seeing when someone lost, then they feel better about themselves. They could see like, come on, we should win all together. I guess this is a very good thing to do, and people should help and give to their helping hands to each other.
Yeah. Yes, I think so too. That is the most important thing. And a little bit about the mindset that you said, like your mindset is so important, and it's gonna take you to places. You know, if you have a right mindset and you're on your right mindset, it is so important to have that, and it is going to take you so many places. You know, and oh my God, I have had such a pleasure talking to you, as you said. Like I learned so much from you. You know, you have no idea, and I realized how much my life is so. And we very, very, very not important things while you're doing you is amazing. Thank you so much, Aziza, for having the time to talk with us and really like giving us your time while you're super busy, and for all those amazing advices that you have given to us. And we had such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys in our next event. Bye bye.